been so long since you've been here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here in the studio of Unity 93.3 FM and TV, reaching you live from the city of Jos, the capital city of Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. Petrus Adamuije is my name, and the program remains Unity Trend this lovely morning. And of course, it's Thursday, the second day in the month of November 2023. Okay, in the studio this morning, I have an in-house analyst and a political scientist. Mr. Shoaibudoro is in the studio. He will be saying a good morning to you, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Kubi. Good morning, viewer and listener. Thank you for staying tuned. A beautiful Thursday morning. We hope it's going to be an engaging and, of course, an interesting interface as usual. Thank you for staying tuned.
Okay, this morning we will just be talking about issues that we have in order to have an improved governance. To see how things are happening, that it concerns politics. But you see, politics is a whole lot of things. If you would say politics, you have nothing to do with politics, then you are saying you have nothing to do with life itself, because everything is politics and politics is everything. Well, that is my own take in this. But then let's look at, let's go to Rivers.
Yes.
All right. And we begin from there and see what happened. It has recently we've been having issues as it concerns governance in Rivers State, and then is affecting the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, and then concerning impeachment tendency, and then plans, and if you like, you can call it rumor. And so Wike is still standing on his ground that impeachment is not a military coup, and so it's constitutional. So if there's any need for an impeachment, then it's okay. It's not something people should, begins to render insults and have all of sorts like is an odd thing to do, actually. So he feels it's still okay, especially if anyone is up there to temper the political structure, he call it political structure. Yes. And so that's what the minister is saying. So Shabu, what have we to do around this issue?
Yeah, well, like we did mention yesterday when we were x-raying, this particular issue of River State, Fubara and of course Nyesom Wike, we did say that it appears that the politics of succession in Nigeria, is throwing, a whole lot of other, surprises, as far as the political landscape in Nigeria is actually concerned. This is the issue. And I gave examples yesterday of similar situations, where we have seen, face-offs or conflicts or feuds between, serving governors and ex-governors who may have played one role or another, in the emergence of such, serving governors and things like that. So this is the situation. Now, first of all, the question we will naturally ask will be whether, the lawmakers in River State are actually going about the impeachment move against Governor Siminalayi Fubara in the right way, in an orderly or a democratic or a constitutional manner. This is the question, because I do know that, and of course, legal experts have, heard views on these issues, and I think if you were to actually juxtapose, what is going on in River State and what, has been prescribed, by the law as far as impeachment or impeachment processes are concerned, you would actually say that an illegality of tsunami proportion is actually being perpetrated in Rivers State. Because the last time I checked, I think I realized that if you are impeaching a governor, you give him, first of all, a notice of petition. You actually give him, a petition notice or a notice of a petition, which must be signed by at least 1/3 of all the members of the State Assembly. This is it. And then he will normally have 7 days to respond to that. And then if he doesn't respond to that, in 14 days, you actually reconvene, right? You reconvene to take the next step. You understand? You reconvene to decide whether, an investigation should be carried out, depending on what is eventually decided by members of the House. If members of the House feel there's a need for investigation, the Chief Judge of the state will then be, ordered to carry out an investigation, and things like that. This is the issue. But so far, that's not what we have seen in Rivers State. So I think that, some sort of egocentrism is at play, some sort of illegality is at play, some sort of arrogance is at play. This is the situation. Now, some PDP governors have actually waded into the situation. They have actually, yes.
Earlier on, I should have told you this, but I apologize. And of course, to our viewer and listener, Doro is in the studio. I will be doing this together. But we also have Professor Bamayi. He's still in Lagos, and I look forward to having him join us. Yes, and because he has some updates for us as regard issues that are trending, and so anytime we get him connected, we'll just let him give us his So please, you may want to go on.
PDP governors and President Bola Tinubu, have waded into the situation with a view to actually nibbling the situation in the bud and giving the people of Rivers State an opportunity to enjoy good governance, and democratic dividends and all of that. But of course, apparently, Nyesom Wike is actually, sticking to his gun. This is the issue. Now, the question we asked yesterday was, why is this even happening in Rivers State? And why have we had similar situations across Nigeria, since 1999 till date and things like that? This is the issue. And of course, we did mention yesterday that, it is possible that Nyesom Wike might just be interested in, continuing to call the shots, right? Despite not being, the current governor of Rivers State. Some people have alleged that Nyesom Wike, even by, deciding to endorse, or anoint the candidature of Siminalayi Fubara, was attempting to probably, elongate his tenure, through Fubara and things like that. There have been such allegations. And then if you go by what is actually going on and the stance that Wike has actually taken, you are tempted to feel that there might just be some element of truth in the allegations that people are actually making. This is the issue. And so I think it is baffling that, it is not bad to, at the end of the day, I think the issue of godfatherism, despite the reservations that many of us actually have about it, is something that you actually can't wish away as far as politics is concerned. World over, there must always be one or two persons who, determine what comes and goes and things like that. If you want to be governor or president or whatever, there must be one or two persons who... do we have Prof?
Yes, Prof, I think we are connected with Prof at the moment. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Toby.
Professor Bamayi, it's good to have you. How is Lagos this morning?
Good morning, beautiful morning. Good morning, Mr. Shirye.
Yeah, good morning, Prof, sir.
Good morning, PLATEAU. We thank God for a wonderful, beautiful morning.
Thank you very much, Professor.
So
okay, what updates do we have?
Make one or two or so comments.
Oh, please go on.
Yes. Well, of course, the Wike,
yes,
the Wike issue is still there.
Yes, of course.
The good thing is that everybody seems to be interested in what is happening between Wike and his Fubara.
Yes.
I'm happy that the president of the country, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has intervened in the case, as we are told.
Yes.
And that he has brought, if I'll call them, the warring parties together to talk to them.
Yes.
So that River State can be saved the mayhem that could engulf the whole state. So I think that it is a right step in the right direction.
Okay.
That the elders are coming in, the president of the country is involved to ensure that peace reigns in River State.
Yes.
And to my mind, I think that with this intervention from the federal level, because Wike has some level of respect for His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think that River State is likely to experience a season of peace as far as this issue is concerned. And I think that security should rise up to their responsibility.
All right.
Shouldn't be allowing hoodlums to go and attack House of Assembly, attempt to set the blaze through an explosive, and all those things.
Yes.
All those hoodlums and hooligans and criminals should be arrested, and they should face the full wrath of the law.
Okay.
If there is a problem between the governor of the state and the lawmakers, what is the role of the hoodlums? What is their problem? Are they the judges? Are they the ones that have been commissioned by the people to intervene in the crisis? They have no business going to the House of Assembly to do anything. They should allow the House of Assembly to do their work. Allow the governor to do his work.
Okay.
If there will be any impeachment, there are standard procedures. There are SOPs for impeachment. And the lawmakers know it, the governor know it. So I think the role of law enforcement should be that they are neutral and they allow the process to go on. If there is any such process, they will go on. But as it is, sometimes you wonder, will the law enforcement really be neutral? Because they should be neutral.
Okay.
And I think if Wilson Wike will take our advice, as a former governor of the state,
Yes.
he should take off his hands.
All right.
Allow Fubara to have full control of River State, run the government with whatever vision he has. Once upon a time, it was Mr. Nelson Wike that was in charge. And he was the man running the government. He was the emperor, as it were, in River State, Mr. Project, doing whatever he wanted to do. Now, Mr. Nelson Wike is no more the governor.
All right.
It's Fubara that is the governor. Allow him. Let him run the state with whatever vision he has.
Okay.
And if he has challenges or problems and needs some advice, he can always get advice from Mr. Nelson Wike, and then they can work together. But otherwise, interferences here and there is not good for any government.
Okay,
Dividing any government into camps is also not good for the government. I wanted to comment on and give viewers and listeners the update about our
Dr. Mrs. Fumilola,
who was killed in Futmina.
Please go on in a few minutes. Yes.
You've already done that, but it's something I wanted to comment on.
Yes, please. And basically, that's what we want to hear from you in a few minutes. Please go on, Prof.
You would recall, could be that 2 days back, we were talking about this, and then some updates later came. You know, when we were discussing this issue about this Futmina lecturer, and the story had it that she had laid off her housemate about a week before the incident. What just came to my mind is that the housemaid has a hand in the killing of this woman.
All right.
But of course, we didn't have any evidence there, so we didn't want to speculate. But now it turns out that the security forces were able to arrest the housemate, this 14-year househelp. She's only 14 years old, one joy.
14 years.
Tafe. She connived with her classmates, secondary school classmates, one Walex and Smart. Maybe we should call their names so that they can be disgraced, and so that the parents will know that when you allow your children to do evil, the world will know about them. So Walex and Smart, these are villains We don't even have their second name. We don't even know much about them. But this house help, Joy Cafe, hired these classmates to go and beat up her former employer who had laid her off. Now, I was listening to the police interview when they interviewed this house help.
Yes.
Because they interviewed her and said, why did your mistress lay you off? And she admitted with her own mouth, viewers and listeners almost couldn't believe that this girl was saying this, that Professor Fumilola Adefolalu laid off Joy Afekafe, her housemate. The housemate said with her own mouth that it is because that she was stealing. She was stealing from the woman.
She was stealing from her, and so she was laid off.
And she had barely been with Professor Adefolalu for just 3 weeks. And the reason why Professor Adefolalu employed this house help was because the woman who has been her house help for about 7 to 11 years traveled for over a month. That's why she just employed this girl, not knowing that this girl would be the one that will take her life. She just employed this girl, and within 3 weeks, this girl was already stealing from the professor. This girl was already a bad behavior, and this girl was the one confessing with her own mouth.
Okay.
And so the professor definitely decided to lay her off.
Okay, what's the situation with Joy at the moment, Prof?
To tell you that she's a criminal, she went to organize Rolex and Smart, her classmates, to come and attack this professor. And in the process, their plan was to beat up the professor. You can imagine a house of 14 years old thinking of this evil, this politic mentality to beat up, her employer. And in the process of beating up the employer, they had blooded the employer already. And one of them suggested that they shouldn't just leave her and go because she has seen their faces. She's going to get them arrested and they'll be in trouble. And so one of them decided that it's better to get rid of her. And they began to stab her and stab her. They even entered her kitchen to get more knives and stabbed her and stabbed her and stabbed her several times to death. Such vicious way to kill any human being. To tell you that these Rolex and Smart, whatever they call themselves, are extreme hardened criminals at a young age. And it is unbelievable that young people can be this wicked to a woman whom her neighbors have testified that she's a good woman, that she helps people in the community. One of the women being interviewed was almost crying and saying that this woman is a good woman. This woman used to help them in the community. She was like a mother to them, this Professor Adefolalu. So this is the story, and this is really unfortunate, but there are lessons we can learn from this, could be on our listeners and viewers.
Okay, in a few minutes.
Housemate, do you really know the house help you are employing? Have you done a profile of the people that you are employing as domestic workers? A few years ago, I was to employ a security man. My police friend, who was a CSP of police, now is an assistant commissioner of police, told me that, look, bring the young man, let's profile him. Let's profile him. Let's get details about him. So our viewers and listeners, please, those of us who have domestic house helps, domestic workers and all that, do we really know the people we are employing before we employ them? We profile them, and we taking them to the police. The police should take a picture of them. The police should record a background of them so that if they ever misbehave,
Professor,
they can easily be gotten. And in fact, if they know that they have been profiled, they will be cautious about misbehaving. Another lesson I think we can learn from this could be, and our viewers and listeners, is
it's like Prof is not really getting me.
It is my personal opinion that it is not good to stay alone. Because my colleague, Professor Fumilola Adefolalu, was staying alone. Alone with the house help.
All right.
It is
I think
dangerous, to be staying alone.
Yes, thank you very much.
If it is that maybe you are traveling, you're living in a guest house, but in a whole house, like this, a big house, and you're the only person there.
All right, Prof, thank you very much.
Easily attack you, and it will take time because only God knows at what time they killed this woman and how many hours it took before people. It was her church members when they didn't see her in the service that had to come knocking at the gate of her residence. And
Sorry, thank you very much, Prof. It's like he was not really getting me, our viewer and our listener. That's the much I think we can take from Prof this morning. Let's just begin to cap up this review segment, even as I turn to Mr. Doro, who is seated to my left. Already, Prof was already talking about Wike and Fubara. So maybe we find a way of just getting to explore two more angles from it.
Well, the story that the professor has just shared is a very tragic one, and it's heartwarming that the culprits, of course, the ex-housemate and her, accomplices have actually been arrested. We hope that they will eventually be, brought to book as, in order to deter, similar occurrences in the future and all of that. And when we were talking about, the Fubara Wike feud and, matters arising and other issues connected to that. We were actually saying that it is possible that Nyesom Wike actually has a hand in what is actually going on, apparently or probably because he has not been able to have his way as far as controlling River State is concerned. And it won't be surprising that Nyesom Wike, it won't be surprising if Nyesom Wike actually is still interested in controlling River State, because this is one state that is actually richly blessed with resources, oil especially, and all of that. So it's a state that actually controls lots and lots. It's a cash cow, as some people would actually describe it. And so and if you look at even Nyesom Wike himself, how much money he had actually had to spend, when he attempted to vie for, a presidency under the PDP in the 2023 election and things like that, you could actually see that, without the support of the coffers of River State, it wouldn't have been possible to actually do that. So sometimes, unless one, is actually careful, one will, naturally succumb to the temptation to continue to be in charge, of a state like that, even after leaving office, and things like that. But we're saying that it shouldn't actually be, because, we do understand that, Simi Fubara was very, very loyal to Nyesom Wike in the build-up to the election and things like that. But you can now see that, the man, is actually, becoming a bit resistant, and difficult to control, which might just be why, Nyesom Wike feels he should be booted out. And
yes,
like
Nyesom Wike said that because he said, okay, why should Fubara bring in people? Where were they when he was single-handedly working to bring him in office?
Yes.
So Fubara seems to bring in people that Wike
is uncomfortable with. Yeah, well, but again, could be why won't he? I mean, if he feels that there are people, if he feels that there are people at his disposal who will help him drive, whatever agenda he has for River State, I think he should be at liberty to be able to do that, being the chief executive officer of the state. I feel it's not right for an ex-governor. Well, you might have a role or two to play, because at the end of the day, like they say, between successors and predecessors, there should be some sort of cordial relationship. At some point in time, Fubara might need some, suggestions or pieces of advice from Nyesom Wike and things like that. But I think going as far as being dictatorial or being despotic or wanting to, decide what comes and goes is not actually right. And I think that is what has been, behind some of the recurrent feuds we've seen between predecessors, and successors and things like that. A governor serves, a 4 or 8 year term, and then, his tenure, has already elapsed, but he wants to decide who becomes a commissioner. He wants to decide who becomes a special advisor. He wants to decide who gets what, when, and how, and things like that. And I feel this should not be. And like I was trying to say, sometimes people could actually, pretend to be loyal simply because they don't want to get something from you and things like, and they know that, being the incumbent, you are powerful, you have a role to play. In fact, as we have seen over time in Nigeria, incumbents literally decide who actually becomes their successor and things like that. So you can't rule that out at the moment. So Fubara knew that, and so he decided to surrender to the whims and caprices of Nyesom Wike just to get what he wanted. Now that he's gotten what he wanted, he feels it's time to actually be the governor that he is. It's time to be in charge, because he is actually in charge. Like the HAUSA person will say, durkusawa wada ba gajiyawa bane, ba gazawa bane, or something like that. You know, bowing before a cripple is not a sign of weakness. And so yeah, Fubara decided to bow before, you know, Nyesom Wike, because he felt I'm after something, and let me just stoop to conquer. You understand? So he was able to do that, and it has paid off. But now that he is actually in charge, he feels he can no longer be, you know, a stooge. He can no longer be a protege. He can no longer be remote controlled by Nyesom Wike. And I think he's right. You know, this is the issue. So I think the Constitution, you know, has made it possible for him to decide what comes and goes. As far as River State is concerned, actually, it's not fair for Nyesom Wike to all well. You know, it might not be bad. It's given our peculiarities, you know, as a political society. You know, it's not bad for Fubara to, you know, give Nyesom Wike some listening ears. You know, maybe even, you know, accommodate one or two of his interests at some point in time. But at the same time, you know, Nyesom Wike himself should know that Fubara at the moment is fully in charge, and so he cannot actually be cowed or, you know, remote controlled and things like that. You know, Bola Tinubu once said that if you want to know how powerful power can be, you know, give it to your child, you know, and see, you know, if you will, you know, he will be the same child, you know, who used to be at your beck and call. This is the issue. Yeah, and so I feel that you know, Fubara is just being, you know, Fubara. Governor Fubara is just being Governor Fubara, right? And I think, you know, Nyesom Wike should respect himself and actually gauge, you know, or sort of minimize, you know, his intervention as far as you know, River State is concerned, so that the state can have some peace and be able to move forward.
Well, I think we've come to the end of it. It's almost 8:30 at the moment.
Yes.
So we'll go on a break. Our viewer and our listener, thank you for staying tuned with us on Unity 93.3 FM and TV. It's about time for us to just go on a short break. We'll be coming back. I beg that you stay tuned. Thank you.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs some love. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way. It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
So glad to know that you are still tuned with us on Unity 93.3 FM and TV. Beatrice Adamwezi remains my name, and it's Unity Train, and this is the second segment of Unity Train. Here we'll be doing the needful. We have Professor P.H. Bamayi, a regular guest with us here on Unity 93.3 FM, and he is in Lagos as we speak. He joined us at the first segment of Unity Train. We had his take and update as regard issues that we have trending. And again, on this segment, our topic for discussion this morning would have to be keyed by Professor P.H. Bamayi. Even though far away from Plateau, we'll be hearing from him about some current issues as we have them. By the way, in the studio this morning, Mr. Shaibu Doro is still very much around in the studio, and together we'll be looking at issues that we have to discuss on this segment. And I'll let him say another big good morning as we get to connect with Professor P.H. Bamayi, even from Lagos. Doro?
Yeah, thank you, Kubi. Good morning, viewer and listener. Thank you for staying tuned.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. At this moment, Prof is already with us. Professor Bamayi. Hello, Prof.
Hello, good morning.
It's good to have you back with us on this segment.
Yeah, morning. This is the second segment?
Yes, of course, it is.
Yes. I wanted to maybe give one or two updates from Lagos.
Okay.
I'm still in Lagos.
Yes. Yes, it's good to have you.
Still enjoying our conference here in Lagos.
Yeah.
So greetings to our viewers and listeners from the Center of Excellence, the city of Lagos.
Prof, did you travel by bus or by air?
Professor.
There was a sad incident yesterday in Lagos. Really sad, really sad. What happened was that this Ladipo market that is famous. It is famous for the sale of planks to different parts of the state and different parts of the country.
Yes.
So yesterday, no fewer than 300 shops were destroyed in a fire accident that occurred in the Ladipo plank market, really Igamo area of Lagos State. It's a real sad incident because 300 shops were razed to the ground. The planks were completely destroyed. All you have there is ashes.
Oh my.
And this fire incident started at about 30 minutes after midnight. So there was nobody there because the government had taken a stand that people should not sleep in that market. So nobody sleeps in that market. So when this fire started, nobody was there. But about 30 minutes to an hour, good Samaritans had arrived at the scene and were trying to quench the fire with the combined efforts of the Lagos State Fire Service.
Yes.
They were able to bring the fire under control, but by then, the damage had already been done. And you know, each of this wood costs 1,800 naira to 2,500 naira, each of them. And in this Ladipo market, they have millions of this wood. So we're talking about a loss in billions of naira. Billions of naira. The only good thing could be viewers and listeners and Mr. Doro is that no life was lost because this happened after midnight. So nobody was there.
Oh my.
So no life was lost, which is fantastic, which is good. But people have lost their source of livelihood. They have lost billions of naira. In fact, one of the shop owners there said they just restocked their shops a day before the fire incident. And now everything is gone. Everything is lost.
Everything.
And I think that when the government sites, markets, shops, all these things, we should be thinking about what to do in times of emergency. Is there some mechanism in place, fire preventive measures? Do these places have commercial scale fire extinguishers that they can use before the fire service arrives? Because these are things that people don't think about. Let me tell you, we had a small incident in the hotel where I'm staying.
Yes.
On the second night of our stay.
Yes.
Here in the hotel. And that is that I was in the restaurant.
Yes.
Eating, and I was talking with a professor friend and yet another colleague. Suddenly there was a spark. There was a spark in the restaurant, and there was fire around the kitchen where they cook. And before we know what was happening, everybody took to his heels.
Yes.
My professor colleague had already reached the door while I was wondering, what to do.
You were wondering, Prof.
and the two of the workers in the kitchen that were around, they had already escaped. In fact, later I was cracking a joke. I was telling one of them that you beat Usain Bolt, if you go for Olympic race.
Yes.
But when after this incident, I was asking, gigantic hotels, exclusive mansions in Victoria Island. And you can imagine that I've looked around the hotel, I didn't find a single fire extinguisher on the ground floor, on the second floor, on the third floor where I'm staying. Some people are staying the fourth, fifth, and other floors. I couldn't find a fire extinguisher even around the reception. So if there is a fire incident in that hotel, imagine what is going to happen before the fire service arrives. So our heart goes out to the traders in Ladipo Market for this incident. It's a real sad incident. What happened? It's a very sad one.
Sure it is.
But we hope that the government will intervene timely and maybe pay some sort of compensation to these traders who have lost their source of livelihood completely. And I hope that the traders can own up to some responsibility. Each of those shops should have 1, 2, or more fire extinguishers. Of course, the other thing could be rather even if they had it, they were not around. But there are new fire extinguishing devices that my university just purchased recently. It is like a bulb. You just put it there in different places. Whether you're around or not, if there is a fire incident, those bulbs will explode. And when they explode, they will quench the fire. Whether somebody is there or not. In my office, university, just there is one there. And in various places within my faculty and various other faculties all over the university, and it's affordable. So if they have that, it can always be used, whether somebody is there or not. The bulb is like a bomb; it will explode and it will quench the fire, and it's not so expensive. Thank you, Kubi.
Thank you very much, Professor, calling us from Lagos. Thank you very much. All right, that's the much we can take from Professor, who happens to be in Lagos at the moment for a conference there. Of course, through him we were able to get first-hand information about the unfortunate fire incident that engulfed Depot Wood Market in Lagos recently, and the loss there, according to Prof, is a huge one. Considering the fact that wood too is very, very expensive. It's something people consume, gets to use them every day. And it is a huge loss. And well, according to Prof, it's good that there is no, we've not experienced a situation where a loss of life, and but we pray that government would do something in order to just find a way of, to still get these traders back on their feet to keep doing business. But back to us on the plateau, we have various markets, we have big markets, we also have heard fire incidents sometimes in the past in some major markets in the city of Jos here. So what is the lesson for us? What precautionary measures should we take, as a people? What do we have to do?
Well, Kobe, I think that, first of all, as an individual too, I extend my, heartfelt condolence to the victims of, the fire incident in Lagos, especially those who have lost, shops and property.
About 300 shops.
Definitely. It's a very tragic one, and like you rightly said, we hope that the Lagos state government will, mobilize some sort of support, in order to bring succor to these victims and all of that. But like Prof, actually did, mention while narrating the incident, the lesson for us is to be precautionary and to also be proactive. This is the situation could be. We need to be security conscious. I think our major problem in this part of the world is the fact that we don't seem to actually prioritize, safety or security or well-being. And that's the problem. And so I think that's something we need to take seriously. Although I do know that there are fundamental issues, that surround or that sometimes give rise to some of these, unfortunate incidences and all of that. Anytime there is a fire outbreak in a market or any public place, it's normally attributed to electrical fault and things like that. But again, why have electrical faults always been the the culprit. I think it's partly because, the wiring system, in Nigeria is haphazard, right? And that is what makes certain places susceptible to, some of these unfortunate, incidences. This is the issue. I recall that about 2 or 3 times in recent history, the Kayatarwa market has actually been engulfed by fire. And anytime it happened, it was actually attributed to an electrical fault. Maybe a certain wire actually, came in contact with another wire. There was then, a spark or an explosion, and then before anyone knew it, there was a fire incident and things like that. And then again, because, such, electrical faults normally happen when there's no one in the market. It made it, very easy for the market to actually spread so fast, and engulf virtually every other part of the market and things like that. This is the situation. So, and then of course, if you move around some of our markets, to even, sort of assess the wiring system, you discover that there's no way such places will not be susceptible to, recurrent fire incidences. This is the situation. I've been to the Kayatarwa market severally, and sometimes, you discover that even while walking, through some parts of the market, you literally can even touch, some of the wires above your head with your finger, because they are very, very close to, very, very close to you. This is the situation. Now, I think that is not healthy, because ordinarily wires are supposed to be, reasonably, they are supposed to be as far as possible from, properties,
from the reach,
right? They should be as far as possible from properties and individuals, to avoid possibility of contact and things like that. But here in this part of the world, because the wiring system is so haphazard, so indiscriminate and unplanned, you have a situation where, people just live, on on divine mercy and things like that. But there are times we can't escape this. And then beyond that, I think there are even issues that have to do with the nature of, a settlement or the settlement pattern, within cities, and anytime a government makes attempts to probably, restore, the master plan and things like that, in order to give, the city some sense of serenity and order, a lot of people are normally quick to resist such, moves. In fact, on occasions, such moves have usually been, subjected to, primordial interpretations and things like that. This is the situation. And so you have a situation where markets, and other, public utilities actually spring up in places where they are not supposed to be. This is the situation. And then even where they actually spring up, you discover that, like the professor has said, there are no, safety measures put in place to actually checkmate, certain eventualities. How many of the markets in Plateau State or in Jos, for example, in Kayatarwa, the Kayatarwa market, how many shops actually have fire extinguishers? How many shops the Terminus market, in fact, ended up being, blown up by people who, according to stories, have yet to be identified and things like that. This is the situation. But even before it was blown up, how many shops in the Terminus market then actually used to have fire extinguishers and things like that? The satellite market at Rukuba Road, how many shops, in that market actually have fire extinguishers? And not just that could be. Even where, for example, there's a fire incident and you need the quick intervention of firefighters, or the firefighting department. Sometimes lack of access road makes it difficult, for any intervention. Yes. I've seen such situations severally. Sometimes even
the firefighters rush into and bring down the fire incident.
Yes,
getting access
to the place, the affected
to be able
place.
To effectively fight.
Yes, that's the situation. I've seen situations where houses go up in flames and neighbors rush to contact the fire department for a quick intervention, but then sometimes they only arrive 1 or 2 hours after the incident has done, after the damage has been done. But sometimes you don't blame them. You understand the roads are congested. What do you want them to do? Number two, even where the roads are not congested, access to such a place, and it's especially given the haphazard nature of settlement in Jos, it makes it so difficult. You understand, some of the roads to certain places affected by fire are either rocky or unmotorable or untarred, and things like that. So especially in rainy season, sometimes the firefighting machine actually gets stuck, in the mud and things like that, on its way to a certain place and things.
Talking about firefighting machines, I can't remember the last time I saw one at Satellite Market. The market is so designed in such a way that there is that already for the place. But is it in use, or do we just feel that fire incident is impossible?
It won't happen.
So I don't know if we're fully ready. And most of the times when you call these firefighters, the result would be that we don't even have fuel.
We have no fuel, we have a flat tire and things like that. Or in fact, could be sometimes they will even tell you they have no adequate water in their tank. It's ridiculous, isn't it? How can you not have water in your tank? Now go to the a fire department or firefighting. I don't know what they call it, but go to the fire office, what do they call it? Just close to the Just Not headquarters. They call it Farumota. Just go there and see. They are literally out of logistics or facilities, and things like that. I mean, so when you have a situation where, first of all, citizens themselves are not proactive or precautionary or don't care about safety, and then number two, you have a situation where structures continue to spring up haphazardly in places and things like that, as a result of which access to certain places is not possible. And then you also have a situation where government itself doesn't seem to even pay much attention to actually fighting fire incidences and things like that by way of actually equipping people whose responsibility it is to do that. I think we will continue to contend with these sort of situations.
This topic today, it wasn't like we try to have some statistics as regards to the damage that fire incidents have done, whether on the plateau or in Nigeria. But can we just begin to see if we can be able to establish what fire incident has done, what destruction has it caused for us as a people? Now, just looking at, we're taking the angle of fire incidents in marketplaces. Do you think it has a massive destruction when that's break out?
Well, when the last time such an incident was recorded at the Kayatarwa market, millions, hundreds of millions were actually lost. Or rather, not probably hundreds, because then the damage was minimal. But then I still do recall that millions of naira were actually lost. I do recall that the chairman of the Kayatarwa market then, whose name I can't recall at the moment, actually called on the state government to actually, consider some sort of intervention in order to bring succor to the victims who had lost, properties and things like that. But the preceding incident, that is the one that had happened before that one, actually, did untold damage to the victims, because millions of naira were actually lost, and I still do recall that, as far as I know, nothing was actually done to come to the aid of these victims. You understand, the calls for intervention and some sort of compensation and things like that continue to fail. I mean, actually, continue to fall on deaf ears until it was actually over. This is the situation, and so I think that's what has obtained over time. So anytime there is such an incident, you could imagine. Naturally there will always be a damage. You understand? There will always be a damage. Because certainly shops will be destroyed, and when shops are destroyed, properties will actually be destroyed and things like that. And sometimes, in fact, I know some 1 or 2 or 3 persons who have yet to recover since some of those incidences. You understand? Because nothing was done to make sure they were brought back. I mean, they kept they got back to their feet and continued business and things like that. If you lose tens or 20s of millions in these trying times, it's very, very damaging.
Okay, Shaibu will just have 3 minutes to be out of this segment. But of course, can we also look at some instances? You have some commercial vehicles, once you are inside, except the driver would have to open his door and then come to you and get to help you open yours. Because there was this story. You know, I was in the car. Okay, I was just supposed to. Okay, I was done. I was to a light, and then I could not get to open the door. The driver had to come. He tried everything possible. He was not able to still open. He had to plead with passengers, all from passenger side, to pull up to get out from the other door before I was able to get out. So imagine if there was any fire incident.
And we've seen that countless times, could be.
If a driver will not fix his or her door, car door, to be able to get it, either to open it or shut it just so easily, do you think such a driver would have extinguisher in his car?
Well, that is the situation, could be. Well, we've boarded commercial, taxis, countless times, and I don't think I can recall, any time I saw one in any of the, taxis or buses I actually boarded. I can't actually recall one, and that boils down to, our negligence and carelessness as a people. Like I did say earlier, we are simply a very, a very careless set of people. We seem more interested in actually, most times when we know what to actually do to prevent a certain situation, we don't go ahead and do that until it's already late. That's when we begin to run helter-skelter looking for solutions and things.
I think it's about time we begin to call out for road safety now.
But again, because of the menace of corruption, you have a situation where if you give 1,500 naira, those in charge, those who, in fact, there are vehicles that ordinarily should be off the road. There are vehicles that ordinarily should not even be roadworthy. And what are the vehicle inspection officers expected to do? The VIOs. Why do they, why are they stationed, on roads?
Responsible to check in
occasionally. It is just so that they check and actually ascertain or confirm the roadworthiness of cars and things like that. If a car is overloaded, you actually, take a disciplinary measure against the driver. If a car is not roadworthy, if it is rickety or unusable and things like that, if it has not good tires, your job is to make sure that the vehicle is mechanically fit to be able to, guarantee the safety, of passengers and things like that. But we don't, and one of those things is actually the availability of fire extinguishers in cars. There always has to be a fire extinguisher in every car. But you have a situation where, like you said, sometimes even when you reach your destination, you have to actually, wait for the driver to go around, and open the door for you, or ask, a certain passenger to get off, and then open the door for you and things like. So if you have that kind of situation, and then God forbid, if there is a fire incident, what's going to happen? Who is going to come from where and open the door? That is why we have had situations where people have died even in, car fire incidences. You understand? Because there's no way people can actually get out. But then again, we could actually minimize such incidences if, for example, every car had a fire extinguisher and things like that. Is also why you see could be people should actually go through rigorous training as far as using or driving is. Using cars or driving is concerned. You don't just get your father's car, drive it once or twice and think you are now a driver. It doesn't work that way in developed climes.
Shabu, thank you very much. Still talking about precautionary, proactive measures against a possible fire incident is what we're talking about. We'll go on a short break. We'll be coming back. We would love to hear your take as regard what we should do in order to avert such. Stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune into Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
For staying tuned to Unity 93.3 FM and TV. Don't forget, we're reaching you live from the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. Beatrice Adamo AG remains my name, the anchor of Unity Trend this lovely Thursday morning, the second day in the month of November 2023, and I still have on the studio Mr. Shuaibu Doro, and this segment is actually your very own segment. We want to hear your take as regards precautionary, proactive measures to be taken against possible fire incidents. This is informed by the recent fire incident at Wood Market in Lagos that happened on Wednesday. And so we want you to just call us and let's get to hear how much prepared are we what should we do as a people, even as families, as market authorities? What should we do in order to get over any of such incidences in case we have it on our way? Okay, 07032353315. It's the line 07032353315. Tell me your name, where you're calling from, and of course, you have to stick again and again with the rules of the vision to promote peaceful coexistence. And that's how we do it. If you want to go to our Facebook page, just go Unity Radio FM/TV. Just drop your comments there and I'll read them at the appropriate time. And for short message service, SMS, just go 0808-478-9999. I'll read them as well. Okay, let's begin the show. It's all yours. And of course, again and again, comments made on this platform, they're not in any way the position of Unity 93.3 FM. Okay, Shaibu, still talking about fire incidents. You ask a question, how many of these markets have fire extinguishers? And how many homes
also do have how many offices do have fire extinguishers?
I think it won't be bad if we begin to have authorities, those who will check if we have them in our houses. Fire extinguisher.
Well, definitely.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much. Who is with us this morning? Okay, Jude Sad, what issue do you have for us, or you want to make your comments as regards fire incidents?
Well, what I have to say about the issue of fire incidents that let's this time of hammer time.
Yes.
I just advise most of the, as things are happening in the country now.
Yes.
You are I can say, you are the majority of yourself.
All right.
What you have.
All right.
Because things are very, very difficult.
Yes.
If fire destroy what you have now, yes, the government cannot come for your aid. Just try by all means and make sure that you get what you have.
Yes.
If it's in the sense of buying fire extinguisher or putting things in order so that if that kind of thing with us, you take it very, very fast.
Yes.
It's good for you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jude, saying you must be all out by yourself and just see what you can do to prevent the occurrence of fire incidents, because the government may not be there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kudu.
Thank you very much. Who's with me? Amen. Adewumi, let's have your take in a minute. Go on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My take this morning is the issue of the Hamatan settlement.
Yes.
We usually know by October, December. There is always dusty wind and always dryness all over the place.
Yes.
You understand? So we need to do the needful by picking up our appliances.
All right.
You see, it goes a longer way to ensure that we put up our appliances. And for cars, if you look at 70% of cars being driven on the plateau, you know have fire extinguisher.
Yes.
And it's not their fault sometimes. When the right authorities are not even doing the needful. You understand? It is not the people's fault sometimes. Looking at the economic hardship in the nation, that people cannot even share their cars sometimes, you see. So, but if they enforce it and make it mandatory, because it's not for any person, it's for our safety.
It's for our safety.
It's for our safety, it's not for any reason. Even if we are asked to get an appliance, look at the fire service people.
Yes.
You go to such places and you begin to have challenges. The incident that occurred at Bosi Junction the other day.
Yes.
There was a little attack because they said it came very late. So people did the wrong thing. Well, because they were not up and doing with their work. That was what people are handling.
Yes.
So that time they do the needful, there are ways they can even have flyers. They can come out just to encourage the people, put up your appliances, get the fire extinguisher. You know, until something happens, they should be proactive instead of very reactive. That's
Thank you.
Let them, you can even have it in their places there. Come and put it at every junction. Instead of putting campaign posters, put it there, put up your appliances, get your fire. That will encourage people to even do the issue. So in that time, our government do some things that I think we will put in place. I will pray God will help us in this meeting.
Thank you.
And God bless you people.
Thank you very much. You know, this morning while I was leaving my house, I just remember, I didn't put off my appliances.
Yes.
And you know what? I remember a day with me called the other time. I was emphasizing that people, while going out, just turn off every appliances. I remember a day with me made a call. And so I had to go back and make sure I put off everything before I leave. Mr. Adomi, thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost that. 070-3235-3315. Still talking about the need to be proactive against a fire incident. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost that. I want to believe it's not any faults coming from our end here. 070-3235-3315. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kosi. Good morning, Doro.
Yeah, good morning.
Yakubu, I want to believe. Mr. Yakubu.
Yes, and the prof in the Lagos.
Yes, Prof is listening actually. So
yes. Well, honestly speaking, you people have spoken very well, and this issue of fire incidents is a very, very important topic. So my advice is, anybody who uses fire, when they finish their business, let them make sure that they quench the fire.
yes,
That's number one.
yes.
And those using electronics, please, even in the night, let them make sure that they disconnect. They should not join Twitter and leave it like that. They disconnect everything. Because prevention is better than cure. And a stick sometimes saves life.
Yes.
And those people in the villages, please, some people are fond of, burning their farms when they harvest. So they'll just put fire so that, some animals may not eat. Not knowing that they are destroying the fire, and that fire, somebody have not harvested his own farm. So the fire will go and just on everything that person spent some months suffering, having hope that at least that is what he depends with his family. So it is high time for us to understand that our safety is the best.
It's paramount.
And the safety of our environment is a little fear, so that at least this time we just end it. We cannot put problem upon problem because we are facing multidimensional problems. So we should not add problem by ourselves.
Thank you.
Could be Mr. Doro. God bless you.
It's a pleasure.
You know, I love it when we get to this segment because sometimes our viewer, our listener, our caller, whenever they call, they take me, into a different dimensions that my thought ordinarily would never have to reach there.
Definitely.
Even those in the villages, once you make your harvest, you just want to light a fire. Hello? All right, I guess this is not the time. Anyway, thanks for calling. You may need to call us back. 070-3235-3315. Yes, those in the villages as well, don't make any attempt to want to start up any fire just because you have cleared up the harvest in your own domain. Okay, maybe others have not done theirs. So by the time you think you're just trying to just put fire around your own farm, you cannot tell because you cannot control it by the time it flames up. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much. Who's with me this morning?
This is Ahmed Ibrahim.
Ahmed Ibrahim. Okay, it's good to have you. In a minute, please go on.
I believe today, Mr. Doro and Uncle B.
Thank you.
You are just doing the work of the National Orientation Agency.
All right,
Wow.
thank you. Thank you.
Because you are just creating awareness
Yes.
for everyone to know the environment we are now.
Thank
I mean,
you.
the season we are.
Yes.
So it's a big, it's a welcome idea.
All right.
At least I believe all the other media stations they want to contribute.
All right.
Maybe tweet jingles and other things. So that's my take this morning.
All
Thank
right.
you. A good piece of advice.
Thank you very much. Really encouraging us
Very
and
good piece
then
of
giving
advice,
us an advice. Let's have some jingles so that people will be all out to be proactive against possible fire incidents in the city or in the village. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Your name?
This is a very nice topic that you God has for us today.
Thank you very much.
Because fire incident in the marketplace is a very disastrous.
Yes, it's disastrous. Yes.
I'm a trader living in the market before it gets fire.
Oh mine, oh mine.
Outside the market up to now, and still struggling with life.
Oh mine, oh mine.
It's very important that you have brought it up.
Oh mine.
It's very clear of where they are making their business. The fire is a disaster.
All right.
Thank you for this.
Oh, thank you very much. It's so sad. He just made a confession. Ever since he went through such experience,
he has yet to recover.
He's yet to recover. He's yet to recover.
There are many such.
Doro, mine was just that I was robbed in a keke since April. I've not recovered up to now. Talk more of those who have
lost maybe
millions,
hundreds of thousands or millions. Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, maybe he's a first-time caller. If you're not used to calling, sometimes you really want to hear the voice of the presenter in the studio before you go on with whatever thing you have. Those who are used to it, once they call, they know.
Need to wait for that. Yes.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Jacobi, if you are going to please, permit me to make 2 points, please.
Please go on quickly in a minute.
It's not an excuse for fire service to keep their vehicles without water, honestly. It's not an excuse at all.
All right.
And those people sometimes, if there is fire incident, you see people trying to put the vehicles ablaze because they arrive late. Let them remember that they cannot disappear from the point where they were, the point where the incident is happening. So at least our road is no good. At least they may take some minutes before they get here.
Yes.
So our people should be controlling their temper, please.
Okay.
Thank you, God bless you.
Oh, thank you very much. We don't need to attack firefighters anytime they respond. Okay, just because we feel they arrived at the scene late to be able to take the situation under control. That is not in our hands to do. If we have anything against them, we can charge them to court, and there we get to do it instead. Hello, good morning. Hello, thank you.
Good morning, Nigeria. What I want to say this morning is we have faced here about the fire service and the way we should be reacting on it.
Yes.
I remember 2001 February. What happened to me in time of fire disaster?
Oh mine.
All my things, 4 shops, go down.
Oh mine.
I didn't get to recover anything. The shop still up to today because I remember that. But I thank God for the life.
Right. Have you been able to recover?
Fire service will be going now. All the social in this Motramam way. If they want to go a fresh water, they want to go a fresh fire service. You see, taking a test, see both drivers, they will block them. They will be busy on it. So because of 100 naira brought to load from terminal to British America, they will block them. Before you know it, what the conductor will tell them is too water. Some of them they'll start stoning them, bread their whistling. Even ambulance will pass here with somebody inside the ambulance oxygen on the person's nose. They will be running, putting siren. None of the bus driver will shift for them, they will block. Some of them at times they will run hands with come down, begin to lead the motor, give chance, before they will start making a way to give them chance to pass. At times you need to come here with your camera and video what is happening in Modern Muhammad way here. My brother will share tears. You see, we are blaming government. We ourselves, we have cause to blame ourselves. We are blaming the government 100%, but we have to blame ourselves for almost 80% because when government is wrong, we cannot follow them and be wrong. We'll be making sure that when government are wrong, we'll be right. But come and see what is happening here. I'm telling you the reality.
All right.
They are blocking ambulance, blocking fire service fighter for Moscow. So what are you doing to say about it?
Thank you.
So that is it. May God bless you for the topic this month.
Thank you very much. A lot of people are yet to recover.
Definitely.
A lot of people have experienced such and are yet to recover. Honestly, my heart goes to as many of you whom are yet to recover. And I pray that God in His grace and mercy would have a way of making you, putting you up to your feet in terms of your business again. You may want to say amen to that, but that's what I pray for you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Who is with me this morning? Well, we hardly can get you. Please, let me just take few from the Facebook page. This one is saying, good morning, our presenters. Ibwali Jato. Okay, thank you, Ibwali. And then this one says, good morning, Kubi and Shuaibu Doro. I'm watching you live from Bricos new layout. Actually, the issue of federalism is playing a vital role in the policy of Nigeria. But the disadvantage is that it's distorted our democracy in the country because they don't allow the elect governors to do the needful of the state. That's the fact. Okay, this one is coming from Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu. Thank you. Real Sadiq said good morning. Oh, thank you. And this one is coming from Ahmad Haruna Muazu. Okay, say Unity trained student. Oh mine, Haruna Ahmad Muazu from Yenshanu. By looking at the current political crisis happening in Rivers State, it tells us that leadership is not independent. Our elected leaders were unanswerable to their masters. With this type of leadership, how can we get it right in Nigeria? And he goes on to say, finally, today Shuaibu, Doro's wife, could be responsible for not admiring her husband for looking gorgeous, for looking, take away on a lighter note. May God save us.
Amen,
okay.
Yeah, just to put a smile on our faces, right?
Ahmed Haruna, Unity trained student, he says, you're looking gorgeous.
Well,
and,
thank you.
But I was not there to say you're looking to admire it. And so your wife may be offended in me. That's what he's saying. Anyway, thank you.
She did that already. So, yeah,
all right. So this one is coming from Muhammad Tajini. Say, good morning, gentlemen. We enjoy what you are doing in the studio. And we must thank Prof. Bameyi for this love and passion for this program. I wish him a safe journey back home. Amen. Thank you, Tajuddin. And this one is from Smail Isa. Good morning, gentlemen of the praise. He goes on to say, honestly, whenever there is a fire outbreak around, people are finding it difficult to quench the fire. But does that a trend to do so? They are not being respected. That is why sometimes they give an excuse. Please, let's respect anyone's jobs because we need their services. May Almighty protect us from any fire outbreak in anywhere. Okay, thank you, Ismail. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. That's the most we can take on Facebook page. And I think also we might not be able to pick more calls except for this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
We're lucky to have you speak. Please go on.
I was really expecting that.
Exactly. Please go on.
This outbreak, honestly, people, when that thing happens, it's very hard to recover. I've seen people who have gone through that, and it has been very difficult for them to recover. So, what we need to do, some people still use candle. I've seen people using candle in their home. If you know you are going to use candle, it's better you look for something like iron and put it on it.
Yes.
Than putting it on something that will just come and start burning again it finish. Because sometimes you don't know when sleep is going to take you up. And then you leave the candle on. So it's very important. I've seen people who, because of candle, their house got burned. And then, honestly, our government needs to do more for this fire service.
Okay.
Because sometimes when you call them, either they don't have phone or what the car is having problem or the other. And then the fire service too, they should try to sensitize people, giving people their number so that if in any eventuality that there's fire, people will be able to call them. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. I think that's the much we can take on today's edition from our callers. And, I think it's even time. Someone called earlier and said we have we're actually doing the work of National Orientation Agency. Yes, again, you see, we are also doing the work of even fire service fighters, because they should have been all out even before such a time to sensitize people, to go into seminars to help people understand the importance of having fire extinguisher closer to you, in your house, in your office, in the marketplace, in your car, and then also help them to know how to use it in case of any eventualities, and also the new means by which you could possibly quench out any fire spark, when it comes. So what do we have today available, readily available? Where can we get them? Fire service and other agencies that are there to just go out to sensitize people. Now, thank you very much, Doro.
Yes.
What do you have as a final word to speak?
Well, God bless our callers for giving us, different dimensions, and perspectives to the issue and all of that. And I'm very interested in what Christy Izang actually said. She said, even at homes, we've got to be careful and precautionary, because there's this careless practice where people, sometimes because of the epileptic nature of power supply, sometimes we are compelled to resort to alternatives, maybe by way of using candles and things like that. You don't put your candle on a plastic material; it will burn.
Wooden.
Or a wooden material. Sometimes you never know what's happening overnight. What's going to happen overnight? People have died, courtesy of such careless practices. I think that's something we need to.
All right. Good morning. To all, you have said it all. How many of us know how to use fire extinguish? The only thing is, let's be proactive. May God ease our world's affairs, turn not against us, forgive our sins and overlook our shortcomings. I pray God to protect us from calamity. Amen. Hassan Garba, thank you. And this one is saying, good morning, gentlemen of the praise. Honestly, whenever there is a fire outbreak, people find it difficult to quench the fire, but does that I think I read this at the Facebook page. Ismail Isa, thank you so much. We don't have much time. I still would have read this one, even though it's an SMS, and we appreciate your patronage. Like some of you were already appreciating the passion that Professor PH Bamayi has for this very program. So also we are appreciating you for your patronage. We're appreciating you for all your passions to contribute. Never you get tired. Don't say you will not go out to go and vote like who they do us say the other time. I'm sure by now he has resorted to partake in any
outburst of anger.
Yes, any possible future elections. And thank you so much for being there. Tomorrow is going to be another beautiful day, and I pray God will be able to see tomorrow all of us. And for all the crew who made it possible, I say thank you. Let's do this tomorrow. From me, Colby. Bye.
How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies.
You spend the